Namaste. Thank you for joining me. You can make your way into your chair, scooting yourself back a little bit so that you have the support of the chair beneath you, the bottom of the chair, and the back of the chair, letting your spine come to rest towards it. Do take a few moments just to settle yourself. Try and keep your feet grounded, in contact with the floor, right about hip distance or even shoulders distance apart, just a little wider. And let your spine gently lift upward. Try not to collapse into your chair. Open your chest, your heart center, and just allow this gentle lift upward through this upper body, through your spine. Your hands can rest lightly to your legs, keeping your elbows soft by your sides. And then close your eyes. And let's take a few moments to tune in. First, bringing awareness to our breath as it flows in and out through your nose. Awaken yourself to the sensation of this breath flowing in through the nostrils and releasing back out through the nostrils. You may notice that your breath naturally begins to deepen now that you've brought awareness to it. And you may gently let go of any thoughts or stories that you're carrying with you. Soften into them. This is the time for yourself to go in and explore. Getting to know your body and all the levels of your being on a deeper level. Take a moment just to allow yourself this transition from the world around you into this one within you. Your breath serving not only as your anchor, but as your guide. And as you follow along with this breath, let it draw you into your body, awakening to these gentle sensations of your body breathing. A gentle expansion with your in-breath, and a soft release with your out-breath. Notice any tension that begins to melt away. Feel yourself supported by your chair and by the floor beneath you. Knowing that you are supported as you take this journey here within. As you explore here, notice any areas of tightness or stiffness. And maybe offer them this next breath. Seeing if you can soften just a little bit into them. Begin to notice areas of your body that feel open and expansive. That receive the breath, a feeling of aliveness. Sense the structure of your body, the boundaries of it. And as though you're able to contain this breath within your body, it's your body that breathes. Connecting to a deep sense of embodiment. This is where we are. This is where a journey takes place. Honoring and accepting your body for all that it does. Soften into any negative thoughts or perspectives about your body. And instead infuse it with this loving breath of expansion and softening. Take a moment to think about why you're here, why you're practicing, and how this supports you throughout the larger journey that you're taking through life. Physically, mentally, emotionally, maybe even spiritually. How this time that you take to reflect and to go inward, feel, get to know these spaces helps you and guides you throughout the larger journey of life. And with that awareness, you can set for yourself an intention to take this next hour fully here and present with your breath, with all of the sensations that arise, honoring and softening. And any other intentions that guide you towards your own personal goals through life. As you soften into these thoughts, gently releasing them, come back to your breath. Bring awareness now into your lungs. Within this chest, nestled within the rib cage, feel your lungs receive and release each breath. Feel into the expansion as your lungs open just a little wider. And feel as they soften, gently contracting inward. See if you're able to take just a slightly deeper breath, finding more space, more freedom within your lungs. And gently emptying them. Challenge yourself to breathe in to a count of 5, nice and steady, allowing the lungs to fill for those 5 seconds. And then releasing, emptying your lungs to a 5 count, working to control the breath both into and out of your lungs. Try not to hold your breath, but work to refine the flow. Slowly your lungs fill and expand. And just as slowly they empty and soften. If you feel comfortable with that 5 count inhale and exhale, you can think about shaping this breath so that your lungs fill from the bottom to the top. And your lungs empty from the top to the bottom. So directing the breath all the way down into the bottom of the lungs, watch as they fill towards the top. And release in the opposite manner, directing the breath from the top of the lungs first, and then to the bottom. Let this become a gentle wave flowing evenly, effortlessly Once you've established that, let your awareness extend out from your lungs, feeling through the whole of your torso breathing, inhaling your belly expands first, and then your chest rises. Exhaling, your chest softens first, and then the belly. Inhaling belly to chest, to that gentle 5 count. And exhaling chest to belly for that 5 count. Every so often, your awareness can extend into the whole of your body, making sure you're not holding tense anywhere, especially here through the shoulders and even through your neck. And gradually, you can let go of this effort to direct your breath, to count the breath, and shift more towards this inner sense of ease as you follow the breath. Over time, this will become the natural flow of your breath with practice, with focused attention given to it, and you're able to utilize a fuller capacity of your lungs. Take your time to build that practice. You can even practice it at any point in your day, taking a few moments just to shift awareness back to breath. And just feel into the whole of your body. Notice the sensations, whatever may arise. Honor them without judgment, without expectation. We're learning to listen and feel here within. No judgment. Gradually, awareness can come back to this breath through the nose. You may notice it's a little fuller, deeper as you reconnect with that point we started at just a few minutes ago. Stay with that point, stay with this breath, and just begin to slowly feel into your body. Notice what areas you want to move first. There's no right or wrong, but just move slowly so that you can fully feel into these spaces. Maybe it's through your neck or shoulders. Maybe it's through your hands or your feet. And just think of slowly reawakening your body as you stay connected with breath, as you stay connected with your body, and really just this inner state of ease. Try to carry that with you through your practice as we exert a little more effort. You can gently begin to open your eyes, taking in the space around you again. And then start to ease yourself forward towards more the front of your chair, at least that front half of your chair. Shifting this hips, your pelvis a little bit, and allowing your feet to find hip distance apart so that the hip bones, your knees, your ankles and toes are in a straight line. We're going to work with that a bit today. So start to sense in that hip distance isn't out here. I know we may think our hips are a little wider than they actually are, but right from your hip bone, extend all the way down and out through your toes. Hands can come to your hips, and then just kind of let your hips sway side to side. Try to press down through your feet. That'll anchor you a bit. Nice and slowly. Draw your navel just slightly in to create stability through this band right at the center of our body, our core band. So have that sense of stability. It may feel nice just to kind of hold over on one side, pressing through the opposite foot. So if you come over to the left, you're going to press down through the right foot. And just a couple more of these. You may even like to close your eyes, shutting off the world around you, connecting with these sensations within. And gradually, just a small variation, take your hips or your shoulders in a circular motion. So kind of circling shoulders around your hips is what it looks like, but really the movement is coming from your pelvis, as though you're tracing a circle on the bottom of your chair, your seat, with the pelvis. Stay grounded through feet. Let yourself explore a little bit, gradually wider, without testing that balance too much just yet. And you can start to move in the opposite direction. Now maybe challenge yourself to go a little slower. Maybe a little bit wider. And as you stay connected with your breath through the nose. Breathing in, ease your way back towards what we'll call neutral. Pelvis is grounded, crown of the head stacking in line with the tailbone. Then we're just going to rock pelvis forward and back. So notice how your lower back moves with your pelvis. Let that occur. But try to lift from that core, lift from that band, rather than sink and collapse the rest of your spine down and into your lower back. Feel this within your hip sockets as those hip bones rotate over your thigh bones, right in the joint. And it's creating some movement, some fluidity. And then ease this towards neutral spine. So pelvis in kind of the neutral position, not tilted forward, overarching that low back forward, not too far back where your lower back collapses into that space behind you. So right in the middle. Breathe in, take your arms overhead. We're going to interlace the fingers, press palms towards the ceiling for a moment here. Kind of hug your arms into ears and press through your feet. Keep that navel drawn in and think about lengthening from the sides of your belly all the way up through the rib cage, through those shoulders, through the arms. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring those arms out in front of you, just about parallel to mat. As you do that, or parallel to the floor, chin can drop towards chest. Your upper back rounds towards the space behind you. Inhale, lift through your arms, tilt your pelvis forward. Now lift your chest and gaze up. Your arms can draw back. And then exhale, lead with pelvis. Lower back rounds towards space behind you. Arms parallel to mat, press out or floor, press out through palms. Inhale again, lift into the seated cow stretch. And then exhale, bring your arms forward, arching the spine, more of a stretch through the upper back, chin to chest. And again, breathe in, lift that chest, let the pelvis tilt forward, lower back forward. And again, exhale, arch the spine back, arms parallel to floor, press out. Last one here, inhale, come up. And then we'll exhale to release. Hands can come back to your legs, roll out your shoulders a little bit, even stretch through your neck. Let's take a moment here. You're going to do a bit of work with those shoulders next, arms. So making sure you take a few moments just to stretch them out. Now let's take the arms out to sides, right about parallel to floor. Start to make some circles with your arms. So as though you're kind of tracing circles out into the air around you with those fingertips. Stay grounded through your feet. And your circles can start to get a little wider. Make sure here you're drawing the arms back in either direction. You want to get that full range of motion in through the shoulders. Feel into that. Nice big circles. Try to keep as much stability as you can through your core. And then let's reverse those circles and go in the opposite direction, starting out nice and big. And gradually they'll get a little bit smaller. Slow it down. Feel into the joints. Breathe. Again, make sure that the arms go back, not just forward circles. Couple more here, letting them get smaller. And then relax. Go ahead, release your arms nice and slowly, hands to your thighs, roll out your shoulders. Stretch a bit through your neck. We're not finished with those arms just yet, so again, just kind of work out anything there. Any adjusting through your seat. Find the stability through your core, navel in a little bit. And then inhale those arms back up, parallel to the floor. Now with an exhale, we're going to sweep the arms in front of us, crossing them. Now notice the arm that's on top, so we're going to alternate each time we cross. Inhale, draw the arms back, opening your chest. And then exhale, cross in front of you again, alternating that top arm. Breathe in, open, really draw your arms back, and then exhale back in. Take a couple of these, breathe and move. Nice control. Don't let momentum kick in. Get this work in. Try to keep as neutral of a spine as you can. Stability through your core lifting up. Let's do 2 more here. Last one. Open, slowly release. Roll out your shoulders, stretch through your neck. Take a few moments. Check on your breath. Check on the stability through your body. Lengthen up through your spine. Let's inhale those arms once again out to sides. Last one here with the arms parallel to floor. This time turn your palms up. And then just bending at the elbows, touch your shoulders. So breathe in as you open. And exhale as you close, touching fingertips to shoulders or as close as you can. Breathing in, open. And exhale in. Stable through your core. Nice, gentle breaths. Now, the next time those fingertips come towards shoulders, keep that. Guide your elbows in together, or as close as they want to come. Inhale, open. Exhale, in. Again, breathe in, opening out. And exhale, come in. Take a couple more of these. Try to stay rooted through your feet. Breathe and move. Last one, elbows in, and then open out. Release your arms and roll out your shoulders. Rest a little bit there. You can add some gentle movement through your neck. Let's actually take a few of those together. So just kind of bring your head back through center, chin right about parallel to floor. And then let your right ear release over towards right shoulder. Feel into this left side of your neck. You can even extend left arm out a bit. Lengthening from the shoulder, opposite directions. Breathe. And then release that arm. Inhale, slowly float your head back up. And then exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Opening through this right side of your neck. Let the right arm extend out. Lengthening from shoulder, opposite directions, towards the ear, towards fingertips. Close your eyes if you're able to. Breathe. And then releasing that arm. Inhale, slowly lift your head back up. Now as you exhale, lower your chin towards your chest. Draw shoulder blades down the back. And that navel slightly in and up through spine. And then breathe in, float the head back up. And we'll exhale, drop back just a little bit. Chin lifting, focusing more on the stretch through the throat, not forcing anything too deep in the back of your neck. So opening through throat, upper chest, take a breath. And then inhale, you can bring your head back up. Relax. Let's feel into those feet a little bit. You can extend your right leg and just start to point out through the toes. Maybe bend at that knee a couple times, just starting to bring awareness into our legs, into the hip even. Hands can either rest to your thighs or resting on your chair. Just maintaining that bit of length through the spine. Go ahead and release that leg. Let's explore with the left into the foot, toes, ankle. Bending at the knee and extending just a couple of these. Move nice and slowly so you can build your awareness of what's going on in your body. If you're moving too quick, kind of all just flies by you. We don't want that here. So just take your time. And then go ahead and lower. Scoot yourself forward a little bit more on your chair. We're going to open the legs wide. Notice how my feet turn out a little bit. We're about a 45-degree angle. Try and have your knees in line with the ankles or behind them, just not out in front of them. You don't want to be here. So we want to make sure to protect those knees. So as you come into this, hands to your thighs, make sure you're nice and grounded through your chair, and then just start to sway side to side through that upper body. Really the movement's coming here from your pelvis. Just like we did earlier with those legs together. Now we're going to open, get into the inner hips, also these outer ones as well. You can find that gentle circle of your upper body. Try to stay stable through core. We never want to collapse into the lower back and waist area, always kind of lifting up from that point. And keep a rooting through your feet. You can reverse and go in the opposite direction. If you feel stable, close your eyes. Breathe. Slow down these circles. With your next inhale, as you come forward, kind of lengthen your spine out. Let your hands come to the back of your chair or any point on that chair so that you're kind of holding on a little bit as you fold forward. Now make sure you don't tip your chair forward. So shifting hips back, lengthening your spine forward, just kind of folding into this space. Press a little deeper through your heels. And think of drawing your knees towards the little toe sides of your feet. We don't want them in. So kind of drawing back as you press down through heels. And see if you can keep the legs active like this as you breathe in and just lift your upper body, finding your way back towards neutral spine. Arms to sides with elbows bent, palms forward. Draw that navel in, lengthen through your spine. Take another breath. Maybe get your elbows back just a little further, just like your knees draw back, your elbows draw back, but don't let your pelvis and low back tilt forward with that. Now as you breathe in, send those arms overhead. Maybe your gaze follows up. And we exhale, release the arms back to that start point, stable through core. Breathe in, extend, lengthen through the sides of your belly, rib cage. Exhale, come back down. And again, breathe in. Stay rooted through your feet. Press through your heels. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale to release. Strong through core. Breathe in. Last one. And exhale to lower. Hold here. Open through front body. Elbows, knees, draw back. Pelvis, spine in neutral. Now lean to the left, letting this left arm come to the inside of the leg. Let your right arm extend, straightening as you lean to that left side, and lengthen through the right arm. Now you want to make sure to press through the right heel and keep your navel drawn in. If it feels comfortable on your neck, take your gaze up. Breathe. Now as you breathe in, lift. Let's come to the other side. So left arm's coming overhead, right forearm to that thigh. We lean over to the right a little bit. Your gaze can follow up. So really make sure you're not just collapsing onto that right leg. You're lengthening through the left side. You're lifting through the fingertips, lengthening it even through your spine as you tilt it over to the right. Press through the left heel. Connect with your breath. And then inhale, slowly come up. Think of lifting from your core. You can release that left arm, roll out your shoulders. Let's walk those feet together, giving hips a little bit of a rest. Take a few moments. As we set up for this next one, you want to make sure that you kind of shift over to the right on your chair a little bit so that you don't fall off, but as far over as feels comfortable. We're going to extend the right leg straight out. Try and have the sole of your foot grounded and keep this left knee in line with the ankle, or more so your ankle in line with the knee. So move that foot and keep the knee bent. And taking hands behind you again, fold forward here. So nice and slowly, just a slight tilt forward at your pelvis, your hips. We want to press through the right foot and stay grounded through this left one. Check in with your breath. And then just slowly ease that upper body back up. Take your left hand to the chair for support. Right arm is coming overhead, so you're lengthening from right side of your belly all the way up, keeping your navel in. And then just bend that left elbow as you lean, or tilt even your pelvis just slightly to the left, your spine left. Extend through the leg, right leg, and then up through that right arm. Breathe. Keep this left leg grounded. Don't let the knee kind of splay out. We want that rooting. And then breathe in as you come right back up and release. Now, you may need to readjust yourself a little bit here, but we're going to keep that right leg behind us as we turn to the left. So, letting this left thigh rest to your chair, you may have to come forward a little bit so that right leg can extend behind you, and try and have your left foot grounded, pressing down. You can use a block or any support to elevate or put underneath your foot to kind of elevate the floor up to you. Now, let your right hand rest to that hip bone and work to extend and lengthen through that back leg, feeling this right through your right hip. Again, try not to collapse your spine, but just lifting upward. We want to stay grounded through the left foot as well. Breathe here. Left hand supports. You can take your right arm overhead, right about in line with your ear, hugging in. And now this length from the front of your right hip, opposite directions. Now sweep that right arm behind you as you fold forward from your hips, coming over this left leg. Stay grounded through it. Extend through your right arm, through the right leg. Lift your navel. Nice and strengthening to this left hip as you create length through the right side. And then as you breathe in, you can start to lift your upper body. Bend that right knee a little bit. You can readjust so that you're supported here a little bit more on your chair. Take right hand to the back of your chair with that left hand, and we're going to gently twist over to the left. Your chest, your neck. Try to keep extension up through that spine. That right knee can bend as deep as you need to focus on keeping neutral pelvis and lengthening your spine upward. Now breathe in to release this twist. Neck, chest, and then bring that right leg forward or to meet the left knee, and then we'll bring the legs back through center. Now let's shift over to the left side and do that same thing. So we're going to extend the left leg out. Toes are facing forward. Try to ground the sole of that foot. You may need to walk this right foot over a little bit so that you're nice and grounded through it. Hip bone, knee, ankle, toes in a straight line. Hands can support, and as you press down through that left foot, let's just fold forward from our hips. Create a little bit of length through the spine as we extend out through the leg. If the chair is getting in your way, you can shift a little bit more over to the left to free that up and just extend. Breathe here. As you breathe in, you can lift your upper body. Stable through core. Let's let the right hand come to rest to the chair. Left arm's coming overhead, lengthening up. Right through that side of the belly. And then we'll just tilt over to the right, bending into your right arm. Any support that you need there through that right side so that we can create length through this left side. Next inhale, you can come back up, release that arm, soften into your left knee, maybe even walking that foot forward a little bit. We're going to turn to the right. So your right thigh is resting to the chair, readjusting a little bit, right hand can support. And we want to work length through the left leg, extending, pressing down through the toes, out through the heel. Your hips are pointing over to the right. Navel in a little bit. Let's start just with that left hand to the hip. Breathe here, feeling into front of your left hip. Mindful of your lower back, not overarching forward. Draw your navel in and lift your spine from that point. You can inhale the left arm overhead, right about in line with the ear, hugging in. Maybe your gaze even shifts up, your chest or heart center can lift a little bit. Breathe. Take a breath in, lengthening your spine a little bit, and then we'll exhale, sweep that left arm behind us as we hinge and fold from our hips, looking down towards this right foot. Extend through the left arm, through the left leg. Keep your navel lifted and nice and rooted through that front foot, strengthening your right hip. And as you breathe in, soften the back knee, lift the upper body. Left hand is coming to the back of the chair. You can readjust yourself a little bit here just so you're supported. Lengthen up through your spine in this gentle twist over to the right. Your chest, your neck. Left knee can be as soft as needed here to create extension up through spine. Breathe. With your next inhale, you can release your neck and your chest. Bring that left leg forward to meet the right, and then come back through center. Take a moment here, just connecting with breath, Softening a bit into your body, any gentle stretches. And we're going to make our way up to stand. So you can come towards the back of your chair so that you have the hand support here. I'm going to move the chair to the side just so that you can see what I'm doing with my feet. But you certainly can keep that chair there to support you. So our feet are going to be that hip distance apart. Hip bones in line with knees, in line with ankles. Easier to move those feet around. So stacking yourself there, or 2 fists between the arches of your feet is hip distance. So we want to establish that here. Spread your toes wide and think of meeting the mat with every part of the bottom of your foot, the soles of your feet, the toes pressing down into your mat or your floor, whatever's beneath you, and feeling a nice sense of connection to the floor, to the earth beneath. Your hands can either rest lightly to your chair or hands can come to your hips. I want you to find a point of focus. We're going to set up mountain pose, the basis for all of our yoga standing postures. We want to think of ourselves as a mountain. This is really nice for posture and helps with balance and just creating more stability and strength in our lives. So just give yourself a point of focus. Press down evenly through the feet without over tensing your legs. Just feel that extension. With time, what occurs there is that energy starts to flow up through your legs, giving you this sense of stability. At first, when you press down, you may start to feel some slight swaying occur. That's very natural. Attune yourself to that. You can even close your eyes if balance is all right here and feel that. And just stay with that sense of grounding, evenly pressing down through the entire span on the bottom of your feet. Think about bringing your pelvis into neutral, and you can even kind of tilt pelvis forward and back a little bit like we did seated, just to kind of find neutral. Not too far forward, not too far back, right in between. You can even think of the tailbone extending down towards your heels. Our navel draws slightly in towards the curve of the low back, and our spine lengthens up. Crown of the head in line with the tailbone. Your shoulders are relaxed with chest open, and your chin is right about parallel to the floor. So take a few moments here, fully feel this. Give yourself that point of focus, or just gently close your eyes. Breathe. Feel a slight sense of pressure through your feet down into the floor, into the earth. And notice that gives you a sense of stability. Like any mountain, we need a strong foundation to support whatever is above. This is also strengthening to your hip sockets and joints. And that's why it's important to keep those hips in line with your heels, or heels in line with hips. You can open your eyes and find your point of focus. Take your arms to the sides and then breathe in, raise them overhead. We're going to keep the arms apart, palms apart, let them face in though. Drop shoulder blades down your back and think of hugging arms slightly in towards your ears. Now remember that navel draws in, tailbone extends down, crown rises up. And so we're just adding on to that mountain pose. The same thing you have with the arms by your side or resting to your chair. Now feel that extension here. Find a sense of stability. One more breath. And then catch hold of your right wrist with your left hand. And we're going to gently bend over to the left. Not too far. We don't want to collapse into that waist area. Instead, we're lengthening this right side. So from your hip bone, opposite directions. Not letting your pelvis tilt forward or back. Press a little deeper through your right foot. And then breathe in, slowly come back towards that neutral position. Switch hands, you're holding on to left wrist. And we'll exhale, slowly bend over to the right. Notice my hips don't swing out to the left. So Keep that just a lateral bend of your spine. Press down through the left foot and lengthen up through the left side of your belly, not the shoulder. We don't want to reach from the shoulder, never from the joints. So extending from that hip point, opposite directions. Now breathe and come back through center. With your exhale, release your arms. You can roll out your shoulders a bit, but then take those arms behind you, interlacing your fingers, and extend them out. Shoulder blades hug in. You're still keeping this mountain pose position, lengthening through the whole body, and just slightly maybe lifting the arms away from your back as you extend them behind you. Now stable through your core. Keep the navel drawn in. Bend into your knees just a little bit, and then hinge from your hips, not your waist area, but those hips, lengthening your spine forward. Breathe in and come back up nice and slowly. Again, soften into your knees. Shift your hips back, folding from those hips, lengthening the spine forward. Again, breathe in and come right back up, nice and slowly. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees. Shift your hips back. Don't let those knees come forward. Inhale, come back up. Release the hands. Just bring them to your hips, but let's do that again. Exhale, hinge forward. Lengthen your spine. Breathe and lift. Let's do one more here. Exhale as you soften into knees, hips back, fold forward. Breathe in, come right back up and release. You can hold on to your chair and just kind of stretch out those feet, ankles a little bit. You may like to use your chair as sort of a balance point for what we're going to do next, our actual chair pose, Utkatasana. So I want you to bring your feet as close as you're able to bring them, so drawing them together, okay? If they touch, that's great. If not, they can be slightly apart. We just don't want the knees to be able to come in and sort of create that inward slope. So walk those feet in. Hands can rest lightly to your chair. Take a moment. Think about how we set up mountain pose. We want that same foundation here. So your toes should all be aligned with one another. Your heels should be aligned. We want to spread the toes, press them down. And we want to feel into the four corners of our feet, mounds of big and little toes, inner and outer heels, or this even sense of pressing down through the soles. Navel draws in, spine lengthens up, your chest is open. Take a breath, just like our mountain, even though we've brought the feet closer together. We've sort of made our foundation a little smaller, so this tends to be a little more challenging, so work with it. Now with your exhale, we're going to bend the knees and sink your hips back and down. Notice that my knees don't come forward. Shift the hips back. We want to activate glute muscles, our hip flexors, not put the pressure on the knees. So your knees, if you look down and over them, you should be able to see your toes. If not, it's okay to lift a little higher and just gradually work towards taking those hips back. Draw the navel in. Think about lengthening your spine here. So option to keep those hands resting lightly to your chair. You may like to join the palms together at your heart center, middle of chest, or even bringing hands to your hips. But work with where you're at, and I want you to think about evenly rooting yourself through the feet. Hugging thighs in, lengthening through your spine. Breathe. Give yourself one point of focus. Outwardly, the breath is your inner focal point. And now I want you to think about shifting your weight over to the right leg and foot. Press down. Nice and slowly feel the shift occur. We're not going to lift that left leg, but I want you to feel the strong engagement through your right leg. Press through the foot. Keep your navel drawn in, stable through core. And then ease back towards a nice sense of rooting and foundation through both feet, which flows up through the legs. And then slowly shift to the left leg, pressing through the foot. Feel as though your right leg is nice and relaxed almost. You're grounded, you're strong through the left. Another breath. And then shift weight back evenly to both feet. I can't stress how slow you should be moving with that. We're building awareness. So focus on that. Hug the thighs in, one more breath. And then as you breathe in, you can lift. Good. Go ahead, shake it out a little bit. You can again keep hands to the back of the chair for support as you take your feet just a little bit wider and just let your hips sway side to side. Feet can lift a little bit with this. And maybe even a circular motion through your hips, just circling them around. After all that hip work, let's just create some movement, a little fluidity. And you can reverse, go in the opposite direction. Now start to walk your feet a little bit closer together, back into hip distance apart. Your hands can rest lightly to the chair, maybe about 8 to 12 inches, your feet behind it. Take a moment, spread those toes, feel the extension as you root down, and feel a gentle length all the way up to the top of your head. Now I want you to shift your weight to your right leg again. But this time, take the left leg behind you. See if you can keep the toes lifted, but be mindful not to open your hips to the left. Think of pulling that hip point, left hip point, over towards the right. And then maybe even fold forward from your hips a little bit as you lift that left leg. You can keep a slight bend in this right knee, but press down through the heel. No pressure into your knee. If you feel stable here, float your right arm forward and up, as if you're lengthening right from the center of your body, opposite directions. Strong. Breathe. Now inhale as you come right back up, release the arm and then the leg, stretch it out a little bit before settling back into that hip distance, pressing down, lengthening up. Feel the shift of weight now over to your left foot and leg. Sweep the right leg behind you and lift it. Maybe fold from your hips, keeping stability through your core. Come to a point that feels comfortable for you. Again, don't let your hips open out to the right. Bring that right hip down so it stays right in line with the left. If you feel stable here, take your left arm forward and up. Right about in line with your ear to extend and lengthen. Again, no pressure coming forward into the knee. Left knee shift back into heel, hip. Breathe, lengthen. With your inhale, start to release the arm. Lift the upper body, release that right leg, shake it out a little bit. And we're going to make our way down onto our backs now, setting up for relaxation. Of course, you do have the option to come to sit back in your chair for relaxation. Just be really mindful that you don't sort of topple over to one side in a too relaxed of a state. So you can come down onto your back. You have the option as well to have your legs resting onto the chair. But for today's, I'm just going to come all the way down. And let's just extend legs out first. Arms overhead, and breathe in. Take a nice big stretch, lengthening the whole body. As you exhale, soften. Your arms can come by your sides with palms resting up. Open your legs a little bit, allowing the feet to splay outward. If there's any discomfort here in your lower back, you can keep your knees bent and feet grounded. We just want to take a moment, settling pelvis, settling shoulder blades, and just finding a bit of length through your spine as the back body comes to rest. Close your eyes and shift awareness back to your breath. First, following this breath in and out through your nose. Noticing the quality of the breath at this point in your practice. Letting the breath draw you into the sensations throughout your body. Feel as your body comes to rest into these surfaces beneath it. And soften into those surfaces. Feel as your body sinks, surrendering. Take a slightly deeper breath in to invoke this inner expansiveness. And maybe even a lightness to being. The sensations throughout drawing you towards a deeper state of stillness within. Take your next inhale through the nose and guide it up and into the crown of your head, right at the top of your head. And then as you exhale, you can soften into your forehead, your temples, and your eyebrows. Relax your eyelids. Soften into your nose, into your cheeks, and allow your jaw and your chin to relax. Soften your lips and become aware of this breath once again flowing in and out through your nose. Soften into the center of your throat and the sides of your neck. Awareness descending into shoulders and out into your arms. Feeling your way through the upper arms into elbows. And down the forearms into wrists. Into the palms of your hands, and each of your fingers one by one. Collecting awareness back within your palms. As you inhale, draw that awareness back up through the arms into your heart center at the middle of your chest. And then soften into chest, rib cage, and belly. Soften into the space between your hips. And become aware of your legs. Extending awareness through the thigh bones into kneecaps, through the shins into ankles, into the soles of your feet, and each of your toes. With your next inhale, draw awareness back up through the length of the legs, gradually taking in the whole of body, the whole of being, just as you are. Feel a deep sense of ease, a deep sense of comfort. feel ready to come out of this relaxation, do so slowly and mindfully, easing back into your day. Namaste.